think we may run it. Please turn to your screens.
Well, the towers are the most important part of Soweto. They are the most recognizable landmark in Soweto. And it gives me so much pleasure that, a brand that was started in the township is going to have an opportunity to advertise on such an iconic landmark in Soweto. We actually wanted somebody to capture the normal day-to-day life of a Sowetan person. Found somebody who could really demonstrate what we were looking for. It's amazing that she's a young 25-year-old woman, but she understood exactly very well what we were looking for.
It's a magical day. It's amazing to see your work. Did you have goosebumps when you saw that?
I did. Seeing it on screen is very different to seeing it live in person. Everything is a lot larger than I expected, but it turned out really great.
Yeah.
Literally, the painters did such an amazing job.
No, it's amazing. Talk to me about visual communication. So what place does that have in terms of our storytelling capabilities?
So, visual communication is just another aspect that we kind of use to tell a story. Specifically on my side, I look at illustration and graphic design.
Right.
And I think illustration in South Africa is taking on a new space.
Sure.
So a lot of companies are actually looking at telling a story through illustrations rather. I think photography is kind of set its place and it's been used extremely well in media, but I think people are intrigued to see how we can communicate using illustration and specifically contemporary illustration. So I see a lot of focus being put on telling a story through illustration, and I think for me it's been a really great time because I get to experiment a lot. Yeah.
And as an artist, do you feel that there's value in African introspection? Because should we not be looking out to the world and saying, hey, we're here, we're part of the global atmosphere? Do you think that us always referencing ourselves is something that's going to help us grow?
I 100% agree. I think referencing ourselves is actually going to help us grow because the world has been kind of looking at an African aesthetic and seeing Africa as possibly the new source of inspiration. So I don't think it would make sense for us to actively try and show the world who we are. Let's actually show who we are amongst ourselves, and within that, because of media, that will unintentionally go out to the world.
If you were to do a dream collaboration with someone outside of your industry, if you were to talk to another artist and you were like, I'm crazy to do something for you, who would that be?
I think that would be an artist from Nigeria, Laulo Senbajo.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yes, you are aware of him. He creates the most beautiful artworks that are really rooted in his culture. So that is really something that I strive for within my work as well. Yeah. And I think the two of us together would make really good art that pays homage to our culture, but is also looking at where African art is headed.
Great, fantastic. Thank you so much for your time.
No, my pleasure.
Let's get this party training today. Once again, thank you so much for taking the time to be with us.
You turn into all different directions of the tower and you see something new, something wow, something very nice, something truly Sowetan, something eKasi. You don't necessarily need to be a Sowetan, but if you live in a township, the tower will have a piece of artwork that you can very easily relate to. Oh, it is so amazing, it's a dream come true, to be advertising on such an iconic landmark in Soweto is really amazing. When we started, we used to see all these big brands that were advertising in the Orlando Cooling Towers. And then you'll dream that one day my little brand might make it, into the towers. And it is amazing today that that dream has finally come true. And what an amazing artwork it is as well.
Yeah. When you have a South African product that is so rooted in its location, how do you know, what's the feeling that it gives you that other people who have got nothing to do with Soweto will be happy to enjoy this brand?
Oh, that was a big stress when we started the marketing campaign of Soweto Gold. The question was, what happens then to a guy in Tembisa? What happens to a guy in Katlehong? What happens to a guy in Umlazi, in Kwamashu? And, the nice thing is, when we decided what to do, we knew that there's one thing that unites people in townships across South Africa, and that's the love of the beautiful game, the game of soccer, which is why we decided to partner up with legends. Right. So we went across different townships, we identified legends, people who really made us very happy in the past, people who've represented our national team, Bafana Bafana, people who've played for their township clubs. and we presented to them the story of a brand that has its roots firmly in the township. And it was quite amazing to see the legends embracing this idea that, you know, if we are partnering with you, we can help to bring the message across. That, you know, we are not trying to sell Destination Soweto here, but we're trying to sell the spirit of Soweto, that spirit of brotherhood. And the game of football is the one game that really encompasses what we are about. You know, what made us decide on that spirit of brotherhood, it was really through what I was observing as I was commuting to work in the past 4 years I was running the microbrewery. And that is, you know, guys hustle from the morning until sunset, and then at the end of the day they will retire in their famous spot, and then they will share their day experiences. And that's the kind of spirit we wanted to take across all townships, and, you know, just relay the message that it's not that we are selling brand Soweto, but we are selling the spirit of Soweto, and also possibilities. You know, in this day and age, it's still possible to dream big and make it big.